Greetings! And it's Monday, and Monday usually means, everyone hates their lives and that kind of thing, and well, maybe that's not you. I hope that's not you. I don't hate Mondays. I love Mondays because I love what I do. I get up every morning, I drive my son to school, I go to work, to a job that I enjoy, I get to work on projects I enjoy doing, I get to manage a team and kind of learn how to grow as a team leader and that kind of thing, and I also get to be taught and learned and be rated and everything else, and Mondays are great. Anyway, so if you're that kind of person who love Mondays, then power to you. And if you don't love Mondays, well, I might suggest that we do something about that. Now, that's not to say that like the way that you interpret your life or the way that you maybe don't like what you do or whatever needs to be changed. I'm not saying that, but it is the kind of thing. Like if you're dreading a Monday, then what's the point, really? Like you should probably figure out what's going on there and choose something different if you can. So, what does that mean? Everyone has their own experience, right? And I wanted to share just some of my experiences in the past week before leading up to this Monday, and some client wins that I had. In fact, one client took my worksheet. They went to town doing the integrated depreciation method, and they messaged me the other day, and they're like, you know what? I can't stop thinking about doing more of this process. I'm doing like appreciation gratitude journals every morning, and like my life is changing. My relationship is magically transformed. This is magically transformed as a relationship to money, all this sorts of stuff. And just really realized that like he's been lacking, or at least not focused on what's working, and has instead been focused on what's not. And this is some of these topics are pretty heady, but this is a topic that I love. And I love this topic for lots of reasons. Primarily because, and this is my own personal perspective, that so many people focus on what's wrong or what's going wrong as opposed to what's going right. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't look at what's going wrong. You just avoid it pathologically and like never look there. Oh my God, keep it in the closet kind of thing. But what it does mean is that if you're not practiced at actually acknowledging and appreciating what's going on that's right, then that's challenging. And you might find that all you have to focus on then is what's going wrong. And if that's all you're focused on, well then, power to you, and whatever you focus on, you generally empower. And so, why is that important to you? Why do I want to share that? Well, because it's a representation. A message like that from a client is a representation to me of exactly the challenges and the problems that I wanted to solve when I first started to get into this work. So back in probably this would have been like 2006 or 2007, I first got into kind of personal development as a student. I was kind of just attending seminars and learning from some people, and I happened to have an opportunity to take a hypnotherapy course. And this was from a guy named Sanjay Berman in Toronto. He's like a master. He's really good at what he does, even though he has another side to him which is really dark and weird, but I'm not going to go into that. But he's really good at what he does. He's an amazing hypnotherapist, and he taught me some really magical tools and techniques. But one of the challenges that I had when I was taking his course, it was like a classroom setting over like 8 weeks. And one of the challenges I had is that, you could teach a monkey how to hypnotize somebody. I mean, you can be hypnotized on a freaking YouTube video. So hypnotizing someone is actually really easy. It's something a monkey could do. But knowing what to do when you have a person under a hypnosis is a completely different thing. And so there's scripts and there's certain protocols and certain things that you're supposed to do right, and other things that you might want to avoid doing, kind of thing. But I remember my first time I brought someone under, I was like, okay, well, this person's bringing up something that happened when they were 5 years old, and it's still driving them crazy, and it's still kind of locking their emotions and causing them anxiety and shit. And I'm like, what do I say to this person? And he says this. He says, well, what the hell do you think you should say to a 5-year-old? And I'm like, I'm younger at that point. It's like 2006, so it's a long time ago now. And I was younger, and I'm like, I have no idea. What the hell? I don't know how to talk to a 5-year-old. What the hell should you say? I have no idea. And I kind of reacted and got anxiety in that moment, and I'm like, shit, I'm not prepared for this. I don't know what to do. And that really bothered me, because what it showed me is that anybody can learn a skill. Anybody can learn like hypnosis. Anybody can learn like a regression technique. Anyone can learn like a skill or a tool that you can use to supposedly open up Pandora's box and go heal your shit. Okay, but there's not a lot of people that understand the value of protocols and doing the same thing every time because it works. And so that kind of experience drove me to really seek out teachers that had protocols, that I could guarantee would work every single time for pretty much every problem I could have. And so now that's not saying that if you have a hammer that you're going to be able to screw in a screw, right? So you need a different tool for everything. But I really wanted that because I didn't feel capable. I didn't feel confident. And when I looked at these other therapists and stuff that were doing this really cool work and really changing people's lives, I was enamored by that. And I said, how are they doing that? How are they thinking that way? How can they, like, what is different about those people that has them so good at trying to figure out what someone's problem is and you know, to say the same thing and the right thing and all the right time and that kind of thing. And I wanted to know how to do that. And so I kind of went on a quest for a decade and a half, almost 2 decades now, to learn processes and protocols and techniques and skill sets that worked every single time for their specific problems. You know, it's like having the right screwdriver for a screw kind of thing. And that's what I wanted, because I wanted to know with confidence that I wasn't going to screw up and cause someone more harm than good or that kind of thing, and really just do the job that it was designed to do. So I wanted that because I was looking for that. And I guess, you know, in my life, I had so many experiences in my childhood with my mom and other people and stuff like that, and influences and friends and family and stuff, where, you know, it just didn't seem like anyone had their shit together. And I was like, this is crazy. How can no one have this right? So I went and learned protocols and skill sets and systems and processes that proved their worth over time. And once I really got a handle on how they worked and why they worked, which really is a deep like exploration into human psychology and the way your emotions work and the way that your mind works and like the way that human beings formulate perception and that kind of thing, then I started to figure out that there's actually a foundation to all this stuff. And once you understand that foundation, you can start creating your own processes and that kind of things. And so, you know, when a client messages me and it's like, you know, I took your worksheet and I just did the thing and like, oh my God, you've changed my life and I can't wait to do more of this process. They're actually inspired and excited to work on themselves more. And that's really cool. And I love that. But I also love that for you guys because, you know, you're a customer, you're a person watching these videos and you're like, you know, what's this worksheet? And okay, well, the worksheet's the integrated depreciation method and we're building a course on it and we're doing all sorts of stuff in the background here at the office, kind of, you know, bringing this stuff into the world. But what I find interesting and what I find valuable for me, and something that I'm very strict in my presentation of and my expression of to people and to customers ultimately who want to kind of, you know, get past certain things that are going on in their lives and really kind of go to the next place in their lives, whatever that is for you. Kind of my personal standard is it has to be something that feels good to do, and it has to be something that you can see the result in quickly. And it also has to be something where like those results are going to stick and it's not going to go backwards. And that's not common. In fact, in my perception, it's my own opinions, this is my own perception of reality and things that I've seen. I've not seen a lot of works have those facets or those tenets. And so those have been really important to me, is to be able to offer something that I guarantee is going to work, that I guarantee is going to have sustainable results, and I guarantee is you're going to see the results, and it's something that you're going to want to do again because it's so impactful and so powerful. It's like, oh my God, what else can I do that in? Because it's simple and it's effective and it works and you can measure it and those results last. And I think that's really important. And it's one of the things I love about these kind of messages that come in every once in a while from people who just call me and they're like, hey, let's get on the call, let's do some work. And I give them the worksheet, I teach them how to do it, and then they just do it. And it's like, wow, that's cool. You know, yeah, I get all sorts of stuff like that. But I just wanted to share that on a Monday because, you know, sometimes people don't like Mondays. And the thing is like Monday is an opportunity. Now, I don't know what you do. I don't care what you're doing, really. You care about that. But I would just suggest, if I was going to offer anything on a Monday, that you really just want to work on your life to make sure that you look forward to Monday. You know, if you're the working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday kind of thing, I get it. It's a drain sometimes. I get it. It sucks sometimes. But here's the thing. The difference between it sucking and it actually being something enjoyable and something you are alive to do and you choose to do every day is the people that choose to do it know that it's leading somewhere. People that choose to do things intentionally. There's something that I'm teaching in my upcoming course. It's the idea of being attentive to life or intentive to life. So it's like living by intention or living by attention. And my observation with people, and this observation just comes from my own observation, like I read lots of books, I watch lots of videos, I take lots of trainings, and I work with lots of people. And one of the things I've noticed in all of that is that most people, for various reasons, I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's just my opinion, most people live life with attention as a primary thing. And what does that really mean? That means to just pay attention. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm going to pay attention to that and pay attention to that and pay attention. And anything that comes my way, I'm just going to pay attention to. And so therefore, I'm chronically distracted. I'm chronically ADD. I can't fucking focus. I can't get any goals done. I'm not inspired by what I'm doing. I feel like tomorrow is going to be, or today's going to be more tomorrow, or yesterday is going to be today, and just nothing's moving. And I think that in my life, one of the things I've realized in the past year, because in the past year I've had a lot of changes. I've moved my house, I bought a house, like all sorts of crazy stuff's happened in the last year. And one of the things that I've realized is that, you know, moving towards something that you want to move towards to is the feeling of growth. Like movement is what growth means. Like seeing progression, like being able to measure some quality that says, hey, I'm better than yesterday, and you know, this is going to work out, kind of thing. People that have intention basically only do the things they want to do. Like, and I'll give a very simple difference that probably lots of you will understand. Like, maybe some of you on here right now are just scrolling through and like, hey, I just started to pay attention to Steve and his group. Okay, cool. But that's exactly the point, is that's you paying attention to what's happening. You didn't just wake up today and say, hey, I'm going to intend that I watch Steve's live today. I didn't tell you it was coming up. That's my mistake. So, you know, live and learn, right? Maybe I'll tell you next time. But it's the same concept if you're watching YouTube, for example, or Netflix or whatever. It's like, hey, what am I going to pay attention to today? What am I going to pay attention to? Well, you don't probably know, which means you're just paying attention to the things that show up. And living by attention is, in my opinion, a guaranteed path to apathy and stagnation. And you'll probably hate your life after a while, because nothing's going to change, because guess what? You're going to go through 4, 5, 6, 7 days of that, and then suddenly you're like, where am I? I'm not feeling like I made any progress this week. Fuck, I'm a loser. Oh God, I suck. I can't set goals, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, whatever, right? Meanwhile, you have someone who lives their life by intention. That's the person who goes on YouTube and searches for exactly what they want to watch. They don't want anything else, because they're fucking focused. They're focused on creating a result tomorrow which looks different than today, which absolutely looks different than yesterday, if they're in an agenda to change things. And it's my observation that we would all do better in life if, and I say this to myself, like I'm speaking to my own choir here sometimes, we would all live better lives if we lived by intention just even a little bit more often. Like, even if you were like 5% more intentive versus attentive, you'd see a massive change in your life. You'd see a massive change in how you feel, in your energy levels, in your psychology, in your clarity, and your decisiveness, and like your willingness to say and claim that, you know, things that I want are actually what I want. Your ability to kind of navigate distractions goes up. Like, everything starts to work when you just apply a little bit more intention in your life. And it's not easy for people to do. And there's basically 3 reasons why. And I want to share some of these things in upcoming videos, but in short, the first one is that every time I work with someone, and this is everybody, I don't work with a client unless you do this. Every client I take on must do behavior tracking, okay? What does that mean? What that means is that I'm going to give you an exercise, I'm going to give you a worksheet. And what I do is I help you track your behavior for 14 days. And then we take the results and we look at it, and we're like, okay, what did you do in these 14 days? And it's amazing to me how many times I catch myself in this, and also how many times I catch clients in this. Because I'll have some clients, some, not everyone, but some, who are like, that's not going to work for me. This is like the worst case. It's not going to work for me. I don't live my life that way. My life is different every day. I live in the flow. I live in the flow. It's just blah, blah, blah. No, nobody does that, actually. I guarantee if I track your behavior for 14 days, you can be the most flowy motherfucker on the planet. And I guarantee I'm going to see a pattern, which I'm going to be able to predict the way you're going to live your life for the next 14 years. Guaranteed. It happens every time. It's 100% accurate. Everybody follows a pattern. Why? Because your body, You're an animal. You're a human animal. A human animal instinctively wants things to be the same. It doesn't want to freak out. If it has food, and it has shelter, and it has water, and it has heat, and it has things to fuck, and it has things to watch to entertain itself, the likelihood of you doing anything other than those things is like zero. And so therefore, everybody has these fantasies where they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and be this and have this, and I'm working on these big lofty goals and stuff. And meanwhile, my behavior is completely opposite from what I'm saying. And that distance, the distance between your actuality or your reality, the way you behave, and what you're saying you want, the distance between those two things is every psychological schism you have in your life. Otherwise, you would be what? Completely fucking present with your reality. And instead of being attentive to Netflix while you're intending some fantasy that's never coming true, you'd actually be intentive on Netflix. You're just going to be like, that's exactly what I want to do today. And it's a completely different state. And most people live their lives in attention, where they're just paying attention to whatever shows up instead of actually purposely putting their intention on things that matter. And so the first thing is behavior tracking. It's super important. It's something I love doing. I love watching my clients kind of see the results of that after 2 weeks and be like, holy shit, no wonder I'm not getting the results in my life. Yeah, no kidding. Because why? Your behavior's not your fault necessarily all the time. It's just a result of your body being pushed around your entire life and all the accumulated memories and perceptions and things that are going on in your life, and your ability to manage what's happening in your life right now and tomorrow and yesterday, and like it's a whole mishmash of craziness. No wonder your body just wants to relax and chill the fuck out, right? So the first thing is we do behavior tracking. The second thing is once we have an account of what the hell's going on in your life, like who you are really, what I can guarantee you're going to do tomorrow in the next year, then we measure that against where you want, and we start disseminating or kind of dissolving these fantasies, and then we start building up real goals. And real goals sound like, okay, what could actually help my situation? Because this is how I behave. I can't argue it. This is what's happening. What can make it better? That's called a real goal, okay? And then you start taking action on those things. And you do that week after week after week. And you know what? Taking action on a goal really means I want a reward. I want a benefit. I want to gain a benefit or a pleasure or a positive or some win that I think is going to be better. Which really means every time you work towards a goal, you're going to run up against what? Do I deserve it? Am I good enough? If I get it, am I going to have to give it away? And do I really want it from my own efforts or from someone new? Or do I want it from someone else in my past who I think owes me? And so therefore, these two things in life really fuck us up. It's the perception that you owe someone or that someone owes you. These two things will fuck up your life. And so we need a process that helps that. We also need a process that helps you affirm who you are and empower yourself out of stagnation. We need a process that helps you basically restore and let go of things that are holding you back. And so we need a process for that we can guarantee is going to work every single time. And we need a process that actually does it without having to dig up Pandora's box and always deal with your pain and your trauma and stuff, which nobody really wants to do. It's not exciting or feels good. So we need something that does that. And so therefore, the second thing I get all my clients to do is the integrated depreciation method, which is just a worksheet. It's like 7 questions. There's 2 sides to it. It's very simple. And you just do it. And then you're like, holy shit. And you see the results tomorrow and the next day. And you're like, wow, what a concept. And you just keep doing it and keep doing it. And you just restore your ability to do exchange with your life. You restore your ability to exchange with tomorrow, basically. And you kind of let go of all this stuff. And you're like, you know what? None of that matters. I'm perfectly capable. I feel capable. I know I'm capable. I'm ready to take on something new. And so that's really important. And so that we do that. And then the last thing is what I find people need the most is like direction. So, you're probably, maybe you're one of these people. And I used to be this, by the way. I ran like, goddamn, probably like 35 years of my life like this. And I'm only 37, so I'm just getting into this. But like, at least for like the first 32 years of my life, I was like plagued with this desperate feeling of like, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. It's like, well, Steven, you've grown up. Holy shit, man, you should figure this out. It's been a real struggle for me, and I know it's a struggle for a lot of people. And so I wanted also a way to come up with an answer to that I could reproduce every single time, that was scientific, that I could guarantee results every single time. I could see the results of my clients that worked every time. and was something that I could rely on, that was infallible, that would just show me what should I do with my life. And I read books on this. Actually, a cool book that I read once was What Should I Do With My Life by Paul Bronson. And I read a couple books like that. Road Trip Something was another one. And it was all about people interviewing people about what their purpose was and how they figured it out. And that was really interesting because I was reading these books on, what should I do with my life? Like, how did I figure my purpose? And almost nobody ever knew. It was just happenstance. It was just kind of happened. And so I think that there's an answer to this question, which is kind of two-faced in a way. One is that the first phase is that, you probably don't know, but you can probably aim yourself at something that's enjoyable or something that's fulfilling, or at least kind of gets you involved in it, that you can feel alive doing. I think that's important. So that's one side of it. And the other side of it, the other face of that is, well, it's entirely possible that you're not supposed to know yet. And that it's entirely possible that you might have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, or 20 different identities of yourself, incarnations of who you are over time, to really know with certainty exactly what you want to do with your life and what you should dedicate your time to. And so when I started to read this and figure this out and kind of realize that, oh my God, that nobody really had this answer, I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to answer this myself. And so then I really went deep into studying psychology and human values and the way that they change over time. And then I realized that there's actually a pattern to it, and that pattern's predictable. And if you could predict that pattern, then I can guarantee the next steps in your life, I could present them to you if I could figure out how to get that out of your head and your unconscious. And so I built a process for that. And I'm now calling it the Prescience Process, pre-science. You can go look it up on Google. It's a cool word. It's one of my favorite words nowadays. And it's the idea that, that the future should be fact. You should be able to factually say what's going to happen based upon the effort and the stuff that you do right now. It should be guaranteed. It should be infallible. You should have an infallible future based upon what you do right now. But in order to get that, you must know exactly what that is. And so I wanted to give myself, and ultimately I wanted to give other people, an opportunity to have that experience of, hey, you know what? This is exactly what I'm going to be doing in the next 6 months, no matter what. This is what's happening. Why? Because it's what the process said is true, and it also makes the most sense to evolve and grow my lifestyle and solve the problems I have. And also, when I get there, I'll have another opportunity to have another vision and incarnate myself one more time and have a new identity, a growth phase, or whatever you want to call it, quantum leap, sometimes people call it that, that would help me get to the next level of my life. And those three things I've just had to build into a program, because in the last few months, I've had client after client after client. Some of them have just been one-on-ones and one-offs every once in a while, and some of them have actually joined programs of mine and really had awesome experiences. But every one of them has needed these three things. And I believe that these three things are paramount to understanding who you are, to clearing out the emotional stuff and getting yourself capable and kind of resourced emotionally and chemically and in your feelings to be able to move forward in a way which you feel capable and you can actually do, and like just get your confidence up. And then the third part is just having a vision, which is actually real and not something made up. It's something that you can rely on that's absolutely going to guarantee solving the fucking problems you have in your life. And I just found that most people don't have these things done. And the world doesn't really resource you for that. I mean, most people just make up fantasies and try their best to deal with their pain and never actually deal with their pleasure. And I just have a different approach now, and it's something I love sharing, and it's why I'm putting it in the program for you guys. And we're going to release that in the new year probably, because I can't, I would be morally against myself to release anything but those three things, because it's what I think everyone needs. And anyway, so I'll have a lot more about that in the future, but I just wanted to share that because, it is Monday, and because it's Monday, everybody has an opportunity to start off their week. And so if I were to do anything to help you guys, I might suggest this. So if you are looking for some wisdom or looking to do something different this week to help yourself kind of grow, or at least get a handle on what the hell's going on, you might want to do this. Just start tracking your life. Just like in a notebook, or like use a software like Trello or something. Just start writing down, like, what did you do today? What did you actually do today? Get as granular as you can be. Like, did you pick up a pen today? Did you tie your shoes, or did you use Velcro today? Like, which one was it? Like, did you drive today? Did you speak to someone today? Like, who did you speak to? What kind of coffee did you have? Did you have sugar today? Did you not have sugar today? Whatever. Like, what did you do today? and write it down. And just keep a journal of this for the 5 days you have until Friday, or a week, or 2 weeks, or whatever. But just keep a journal of that. Don't think about it. It doesn't mean anything. Just document it. Because, and well, the reason is because, hey, a lot of people, here's the thing. The truth is, and this is just my own opinion, and I see this, and it's not my own opinion. There's lots of people in the world, and there's tons of psychologists in the world who also agree with this concept, which is that most people are just chronically fucking dissociated from their life. It's why they don't take action. It's why they just let life happen to them all the time. And it's why nothing works. It's why people live by attention instead of intention. And so we got to get a handle on that. And the first thing we got to do to get a handle on that, I think, is not to start from the perspective of, oh, my life is all screwed up and I got to go fix it and have some personal development fucking search that goes nowhere. I think it's more important to get a handle on, okay, what exactly is happening? Like, what is happening in my life that is ultimately a result of everything I've gone through, so that at least I can see the results of everything. What am I? What am I doing? Who am I right now in my life? What is my body and my automatic humanoid being actually doing this week? And if you were just to do that, I guarantee you would have more insights and more understanding about what you're actually doing in life versus what you actually think you should be doing in life. And like I said, understanding where you're doing, what you're doing versus what you think you should be doing. The gap between those things is every psychological issue you have, every emotional issue you have, and just being able to track that and kind of break that down into its components is so important, and it's something I love doing with everybody, and I love doing it with you guys. So if you guys want to try that on, just start. Just start that this week. It's a Monday. Why not just start on a Monday? This evening before you go to bed, just journal it out. What did I do today? Get as granular as you can. If you need to put down 50 things, put down 50 things. Whatever. But it's a start. It's a start to understanding who you are and what the hell is going on in your life. And that'll help you at least have an anchor point that says, okay, that's what's happening. Great. Okay. I can guarantee that's probably going to happen tomorrow. That's fine. But at least now we know. And that's important. Because if you don't know, you don't know. And if you don't know, but you think you should be doing something else, well, you never know if you're going to be battling yourself and your unconscious motives. And, well, if you are, you're going to have a hard time. So, therefore, maybe consider taking that on. Anyway, I'm going to go pick up my son. I've got some stuff to do. My father's showing up today, so I've got to take care of him a little bit. But that being said, please consider taking that on. And if you've watched this all the way through, thank you. If you've watched this on replay, thank you. I'll be in this group a bunch more now, since we've kind of got my life in order, more or less. Moving houses is a pretty intense experience. So, but we did all right this time, and I can't wait to the next one and what happens else. So let's move forward in the future. Let's find out who we are first. So if you're going to take this on, track your behavior, and let's see what's going on in your life. Okay. Now, that being said, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want to know something, or you have a question for me, or you have something you want to understand, or just have something you're trying to figure out in life, post it in the comments, or post it in the group, and just be like, hey, Stephen, I've got this problem in my life. Can you help me solve it? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Maybe someone in the group can. Whatever. This is an opportunity, and it's a space for us to just help each other and grow. And I'm dedicated to that in my life, and I just love helping other people do that too, because I love the feeling of growth. I love the feeling of being able to see that I'm better off than I was yesterday, basically, or at least more refined in my values and my transformations and stuff. So anyway, that being said, I'll see you guys next time.